Well, this is another interesting day. If you've been following along, for those that have, the house is empty, and the gal and her boyfriend that live upstairs, they're not here, and I haven't seen them for a couple of days. And Aaron, I believe, yet left yesterday, and then at about 4 p.m. in the afternoon, the power went off in the house. So when I called the the electrical power company, did you have a power outage, or is this an account issue? It's an account issue. Oh, well, Aaron, that's right. Aaron switched the power over into his name. I don't know where Aaron's at. So the electric company said, well, we can't discuss the account with you because you know how contracts are, right? About information, security, right? Trust issues. And so I'm down to about 40% power on this phone, right? Because I got no way to charge it up. And therefore, since the Wi-Fi is down, I can't, it's not going to load up on my YouTube channel very fast, right? And so as soon as I turned on the phone just a minute or two ago, bang, there she is. The title of the video by Sounding Souls is Waking Up Indigo Children Everywhere. The sound of music, the one's mic, guardian time. And so because I've shared about precision and what we call waves, just like you throw a pebble in a pond, you see the waves, the electromagnetic waves, the plasma waves, consciousness waves, on a multi-density, multi-dimensional way, right? Because that's what we are, multi-density, multi-dimensional units of consciousness, all communicating with each other. Everything that we're experiencing of what's going on by virtue of everything that's been done, right? Been done, that's like past tense, yeah. Because the rate of speed between artificial light or finite dead light and running a vortex, right, on real living light of living spirit with an oversoul means that things are happening at a faster speed simultaneously when you're running on that vortex, right? Yeah, of course. That's why I've always said this. We're there before they are. So that means we know what's going on before they know what's going on. They get their memos after it's already happened. That's just how it works. That's called a speed contest. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens. And I thought, I mentioned this before. I unloaded on the guy who's the property owner, right? And I said, go take a look at Executive Order 13818. Now, the fact that I don't have any electrical power, that could come under Executive Order 13818, but I do not play this game, okay? Because you know what a commercial lien is, right? Putting a lien on a soul. They do that. Putting a lien on the property owner, okay? Because of everything that I know, ever since I've been in this house and why I'm here in this house, doing the energetic work that I do out here, because of the location of where I'm at that's related to a vortex on the big island, right? And so, in other words, the fact that the power went off and Aaron was not able to pay the bill, and you all know I've talked about Aaron, bless his heart. When you have somebody that is blowing major holes in their own supercomputer, that means that their ability to compartmentalize or to record all the information in which they can recall it, and as we used to say, the military knows about this, keeping their shit in order, right? Everything is scattered. You know what a scattered brain is, right? Scrambled eggs. Keeping track of stuff. I can't keep track of this. So you don't know from 1 minute to the next with Aaron's mind what he's going to experience and focus his energy on, that it hasn't been distracted to put his energy doing something different. So what happens? You lose track. You're lost in space. You really don't know what's going on because you can't keep your computer organized enough to know. Right? So that's, how this works with healing. Right? Which is pulling your energy back in, pulling the accretion levels to be able to restore what it is that you've lost as a result of what? Trauma. That's what it is. That's why we're all here. That's why it's guardian time. So you think of waves, plasma waves that incarnate in here, right? They can accrete and hold and anchor, right? Powerful scalar waves, right? Anchored, properly grounded to mama, right? Let's get her going, mama. Let's get her going. Mama's ascending, guys. Sophia ascending, ascending. Sounding souls, sounding souls. Alhambra, Alhambra, Alhambra. Cameloti, right? Remember the sounds of Lyra, the sounds, the beautiful music that we love to play, all that we are, which is all that is. Everything that we're giving love to in our mirror is what we are. Yeah, so at least for my benefit, at least the 5G's off, right? I went out and looked at the power plant outside. And of course, there's a lot of different things. If you want to be creative, that I could restore the power. I thought, how about if I call the electric company and say, hey, listen, you know, I'm a senior citizen, right? And I was running basically a non-parasitic filter in the room there that was running on the electrical power that you folks provide. And I'm a first law star nation, right? And so there are laws on the books that are supposed to protect seniors that have, if you will, health issues, right? And so you could make a couple calls, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you liable for making sure that you get the power back on here because of what's going on with me. Because remember, when you are acting in good faith in their courtrooms, right? So for example, the owner knows that I pay $500 a month. The agreement, which is a contract, which is a verbal contract, and under their laws, that is an enforceable contract. I agreed to give them $500 worth of my electrons to pay for the electrical power. Okay? That's the intent of those $500 worth of electrons, right? Okay, so the property owner knows that, right? And so Aaron knows that, but I don't hold Aaron responsible for that, believe it or not. I don't. And why is that? Because Aaron isn't even responsible enough to take care of himself. So even in their own court of law, right? And even if you use the state of California's health and safety code, which is called a 5150, which means if you're mentally unfit to take care of your own self, right? And it's been determined based on a psychological assessment of your state of mind, you can get sentenced to one of their state mental hospitals for treatment. Remember, in the olden days, they used to do lobotomies. So, you know, that's another crime. That's why the crimes are ending. Crimes against humans with souls, crimes against life, crimes against living spirit. The difference between a living spiral and a death spiral, that's where we're at. And so I don't hold Aaron responsible because, as I mentioned to the property owner when I left a message on his phone, I don't talk to Aaron about these kinds of things because Aaron's got enough on his plate that he's trying to keep together, but he can't keep his stuff together, which means, remember, order out of chaos. So Aaron's mind, which is his central nervous system, is all over the place, right? His bulb is basically burned out. You know, as I mentioned before, apparently Nathan told me that Aaron tried to commit suicide when Cole was missing for a day. You know, how was he supposed to know that somebody who came into the yard was going to take the dog, thinking that something was wrong with the dog, that the dog wasn't part of the owner? Now we're back to leashes, collars, and cages. Took the dog back to his place, so the dog was recovered. Aaron's still with us, right? And then Aaron left yesterday, so I don't know when Aaron's going to come back. I got no idea. There's so much that's going on simultaneously, right, with units of consciousness that are connected to each other through neurons. So Christ conscious only knows, Christic consciousness only knows what may happen next because there's just so much happening. The units, cellular units, living water cellular units. Well, now we're back into dead water cells and living water cells, dead magnet cells, right? Living magnetic cells, living light versus dead light, right? And so this is going to be interesting. So I thought, well, I might just put this on a YouTube, right? Like I'm doing right now to share with all of you what's happening, right? But when I turned on my phone, hey, wow, sounding souls, that's not a coincidence. I experienced that this morning, lift my heart and spirit, right? And so you realize these, you know what pre-planning is, right? You want to experience something in the future, planting something now, like planting a seed. You plant a seed in the ground and you give it love, then you know that it's going to grow. So you already know the outcome, right? Which is a positive outcome. That's a positive result. The same way that what's his name, Chief or Alliance, Turtle Clan, those folks, right? The Senecas and all them folks that are up in that area, and all the military operations that are being reported holographically that is on the screen, all the movements taking place, all the stuff that Karen McDonald puts up, right? Yeah, so there's a lot that's going down that right. In other words, the events or the completion of a magnetic circuit or what's being experienced by a living cell, and you realize every living cell that's represented by a water world of how many sound waves are being experienced simultaneously within what? Planetary consciousness field. Running water worlds. Spinning water worlds. So I'll throw it in your court. What do you think I ought to do? I could call the Hawaiian Electric Company and just tell them, hey, listen, I have certain lung issues as a result of bioaccumulation of exposure to weapons, weaponized consciousness, electromagnetic radiation, right? And so I've got an ion air purifier in that room, right? That gets rid of parasites and helps purify the air. Now that you've shut the power off, okay, that means that if I need that and I suffer any physical, emotional, or spiritual harm or trauma to my cells and my neurons, which is my central nervous system, that it could come back on you now that you've been notified. Now that you've been notified of that, aren't there laws on their books that's supposed to protect the health and wellness of seniors? Right? So I thought maybe I'll make a call to senior services, let them know. But I thought maybe just wait and see what happens. You know how the events naturally unfold, the way that nature, natural energy, natural consciousness energy that is experiencing itself, there are ways in which nature naturally unfolds the spiritual form and flow of auric energy fields that are experiencing all there is, and experiencing all there is in a state of harmony, rhythm, and balance. So the plasma waves are all tuned in and playing harmonic music. We love the music. We love the sounds. Sounding souls, sounding boards, sounding motherboards. Mama's motherboard. Have a great day. We love you all. Be good yourselves. Alhambra, Alhambra, Alhambra. Thank you so much to all the indigos that are sounding the motherboard. Yeah, yeah, yeah.